Hey, and welcome back to Beyond the Mark, the podcast where we dive deep with people who are building brands, businesses, and lives that truly stand out. Today's guest is Carla Hurd, founder of Battle Buddies Wellbeing. She's a wellness advocate and an absolute force in the world of network marketing. Carla's journey is one of reinvention. From selling candles as a young mom to building a thriving health and wellness community that's helping people get well in mind, body, and spirit. You'll hear how she built her network without even realizing it, why she left comfortable to pursue something greater, and how she's using events, relationships, and real conversations to fuel her mission. Carla shares her story with so much heart. And if you ever struggled with health, burnout, or finding your purpose, this episode is for you. Let's jump in. Before we really get into it, I just want to know like a snapshot of what you do and why you do that.
I help women primarily in the prime of their life kind of balance out their health journey and maybe fill in the gaps for their wellness wheel. So I help people feel well head to toe, mindful, spiritually, physically, emotionally. We try to check all the boxes at Battle Buddies Wellbeing, and we stick with you along the way. Some men too, but most of our team is women.
Okay. Love it. So let's start at the beginning. Like, what got you into this?
Well, the industry I'm in is network marketing. And so I was attracted to that industry because I was pregnant and I had a job outside of the home, but I was pregnant with my second daughter and I didn't want to do daycare.
Mm.
And I found myself single. So I needed to work, but I didn't want to be away from the kids during the day. I wanted my own thing. I wanted my own business because I grew up in a family-owned business and I wanted that, but I I didn't want to leave them all the time. So I found a direct sales company and aligned with them for 23 years. So I was Carla the Candle Lady first.
Candles.
Yeah. Yeah, that was wild, but that was kind of perfect. So during the day, I could be the room mom, I could drive the kids to school, I could be at all the practices, I could pick and choose the games, and I could schedule my candle parties around the kids' sports or after school activities. So it was great. And then I would leave for a few hours in the evening. Most times I was back before they went to bed. So I could, back then we could pay a babysitter $5 an hour or feed them. And that was enough. So I could just be gone for a little bit during the day and full-time mom, but, had my business on the side.
Wow. But you kind of lived that entrepreneur life. Sounds like you had a free schedule, but you also were thinking about work like whenever you could squeeze it in.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I didn't know then, gosh, that was 30 years ago. I didn't know then that I was building my network. Even like we didn't talk about building your network or expanding your network during that time very often. I wasn't in any networking groups or anything like that, but I was building my network being a room mom. I was building my network sitting in the stands or on the sidelines watching the girls play soccer because I made friends and I was just connecting with other people who would later have a candle party, who would later jump into my health and wellness business. So I was doing that all along. I was building my business all along while raising my children. I didn't have a name for it at that time.
Mm. You mentioned networking, and I guess like now you maybe have identified exactly what that means to you. But when you started, when did you think about networking and how that was going to help your business?
Well, I'm kind of maybe a little unique. I think I came out of the womb networking because I did grow up in an entrepreneurial family, and my family owned small businesses throughout the United States, and we all had to work. Like our living room was the business hub. It was the computers and the phones, and it was the hub. So right away, if they needed somebody to demo a product at one of the mall shows, I was the oldest. I did it. And so I would demo a product and I would gather around a bunch of people and they would love to watch the 10-year-old in pigtails show them how this Amigo would go in and out of a car. They loved it. And I loved presenting. I loved the laughs. I loved the attention. I thought it was wonderful. And then my parents were smart. They paid me for the leads I got. And
Mm.
then they paid me when I got an appointment. So I was cold calling on the phone when I was 12, 13 years old and setting up appointments for my dad to go sell them an Amigo.
Dude, you're kidding me.
Yeah. So I just was thrust into it. And then I was 14. I bought some Tootsie Pops and took them to school. You know, the little Tootsie Pops, how many licks do you get to the middle?
Oh, yeah.
You
I
might not be.
remember.
Okay,
No,
you
I
do?
remember.
Okay.
Oh, wait, the owl.
Yeah, the owl.
Owl.
Yes. So I bought some, took them to school. Everybody wanted them. And I was like, I bought some more. I bumped up the price. So then I was selling them out of my locker. I made a profit. And then some of my girlfriends said that they wanted to make money doing that. And I said, okay. So I bumped up the price a little more, gave them some, sold them some. They sold it. They made a profit. But then I was making a profit on what they sold. So voila, network marketing before I even knew what it was.
Yeah. Well, where did you get the numbers to cold call when you were so little?
Well, my parents got them through some of the lead generation that they did at some of those like mall expos, or we would go to county fairs and have a booth set up, and people would sign up to check out the Amigo. And so I was just pulling them out. And
Wow.
could you say no to a 12-year-old who says, "Hi, my name is Carla, and I'm setting up appointments for my dad because you would be interested in the Amigo"? How could you say no to that? You couldn't.
No, you can't.
I set a lot of appointments.
You can't. That's actually one of my, it's not like a dream, but I'd like to see one of my kids try to do sales when they're really young.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so much to learn in sales and there's so much to learn about people. And why not start them young when they can learn? Because that's where I learned to love people, really. I mean, some people did hang up on me, but some people called me back and they found out how I did on the science test, because we would get talking and creating a connection. And that's just where I really learned to love people, is making those calls and doing those presentations.
Mm.
They would come up to me afterwards and pat me on the head, on my pigtail head, and just say, "Great job, young lady." And I loved that. I loved that.
Wow. Yeah, we'll get into how like networking plays into your life right now, because I know you have quite a large network right now, and you do well with that. So, what was a pivotal moment in your life where it turned towards health and wellness?
Yeah, so it was 2017, and prior to that, we were not what I would consider a healthy family. Honestly, my marriage was struggling a little bit, and we weren't eating healthy. We weren't exercise. We were sports players. I've always played softball, and we've camped and we were outdoor people, but we weren't healthy. And somebody told me about this company in health and wellness, Isogenics, and I did not want to do it. I said no for a long time. Went to a meeting, one of the rah-rah meetings that nobody wants to go to because, oh, I'm just going to get sucked in. Well, I went and I got sucked in. I liked the culture. I liked the products. I liked what they were saying about creating a community, like healthy mind and body. I was just learning about mindset. I just had read a book, Carol Dwork's mindset book, and I knew that was important, and I knew that it was something that I was missing. And then I didn't understand the important role that food and nutrition played in my body until I got the products in my body. So I knew I had a problem, and I found Isogenics to kind of fill in the gaps. And I was 45 years old, and it was really at that moment that I was like, I'm going to leave the candle business. I'm going to do health and wellness, and I'm going to help my family get well. And then I'm going to get well in the meantime. And what has happened over the past 8 years or so, it's just thousands of people that are doing it with me. But I knew I had something wrong. I knew something wasn't right, and I thought this might be a fix, so I just tried it.
So that makes me curious because you were selling candles
Yeah.
when your kids were young, and then why didn't you want to get into this health and wellness meeting at that time?
Ego, uh, ego, because it's a big industry. Health and wellness is a big industry. And I distinctly remember telling the woman that wanted me to join her, I am the best at what I do. I'm the best candle lady in town.
Mm.
I don't want to start over in this new industry. It's too big. I do not like competition. And I didn't have any at the time. I was the best. So if I jumped into this world, I don't know anything about it. I don't know. I never drank protein shakes. I didn't know. And then I'm going to be in competition with all these other companies and I don't know enough and I don't want to do it.
Mm.
I was just going to stay and be comfortable
Why did you end up doing it?
because comfortable was uncomfortable. It was too uncomfortable. And I'm not sure. Call it a God nudge.
Mm.
My husband, even though we were mad at each other a lot, said, "You need to do this." And he
Hmm.
really encouraged me to do it. I think he knew I needed to make a change, but he didn't want to, tell me that it might be food. I was overweight. I was moody. Um, I just wasn't in a good place.
Uh, and you don't have to answer this if it makes you uncomfortable, but when you say you were overweight, like what was the difference then and now?
40 pounds and more about I had no energy. I was not pleasant to be around. You and I met a couple of years ago, Joe,
Yeah,
and we liked each other, right? We had breakfast at that place. We
absolutely.
had a good time. And
We
um,
could have sat there for
I
hours.
know, I know, I know. The waitress would have loved that. But that interaction wouldn't have happened because I just wasn't that person. I lost my way. Remember I said I love people? I lost my way and I didn't love people anymore. And I think God put this woman in my path to show me. And then I think he talked to my husband and had him nudge me a little. Like you need to do this.
So you went to the meeting, and
Mhm.
then when did you say, let me go back to the next one, or you know what, let me try to work at this. When did that happen?
I really am a product of the product because it was 3 days and I said, I'm in a good mood. And it was 3 days and my husband said, we haven't had a fight yet. And I go, I know. What is it? We didn't know. We didn't know what it was. And then it was 2 weeks and my body wasn't hurting anymore. So I am really somebody that took the products and they affected me right away. I made some phone calls to see what it could possibly be. Simple as this. You were deficient in vitamins and minerals. And the products you're taking are loaded with it. You're just getting a nutritional balance. You're flooding your body with this stuff, with all these vitamins and minerals. And I was like, let's go. I jumped back into softball because I had quit. Um, I took all the cereal out of my house, made the kids have protein shakes for breakfast, and we really just went all in. So we went from candles and cocktails to sipping samples, shakes and protein bars, and we just had people over and fed them this good food. And alas, we had a business. In about 4.5 months, we had a business of over 200 people.
So you literally swallowed the pill when you went
Yeah,
to the first
I
meeting.
really did. I really did. When they say like you drank the Kool-Aid, I drank it.
Wow.
I did. But my body needed it. I was ready for it. I was ready for it. So that is my transformation of how I know I needed health is that I just put the good stuff in my body and I felt it.
What did they tell you that said, let me try it? What was the thing that like popped in your mind? Let me give it a shot.
I believed the I believed the people that were talking about this is how I felt then and this is how I feel now
Mm,
and I'm looking forward to this. There were other people's stories
mm,
that were similar to mine And it's a beautiful community. You know, network marketing, as we were talking about earlier, gets a little bit of a bad rap, but they really have a good community of people that are supportive and encouraging. And I could tell at that first meeting that I was going to get support. So remember, I was worried about, I don't know enough. I didn't need to know enough, because there were men and women in that room that were willing to be a resource to me and help me along the way. So I didn't need to know. I could call somebody who knew, and I could lean in on them.
That's very cool. Now, what does it like today? Like, what is your day like? What's the health for you like?
Well, I really want to kind of change people's perspective about network marketers and how we operate. I like to talk to other network marketers and help them understand, you don't have to send messages to people to say, "Hey girl, how you doing? I haven't talked to you in a while." You don't have to do that. You can just be you and connect with people, and maybe they'll buy a product down the road. But really, my day is I'm on social media a lot. So I do a lot of social media stuff to try to help people figure out what they're missing on their wellness wheel. So sometimes I have a Facebook post about a chiropractor, or a Facebook post about meditation, or grounding, or a wellness shot, or something. It's not always about the products that I sell. It's just other ways for people to get well. Um, I book and work on a lot of events. That the last 3 years have been in-person events, collaborative events with other health and wellness people. That's a lot of what my day is spent doing that.
Tell me about the events.
Yeah, they're so good. So um, I have a lot of people in my back pocket, like naturopaths, people that are in skincare, natural health practitioners, yoga, massage therapists, vitamin infusion. Those kinds of people attract people who might want to try my products, right? The people that use my products, my team, they also want a chiropractor, a gym, a vitamin infusion. They want these things. So I developed a wellness wheel. Okay, you have a wellness wheel, Joe, and I have a wellness wheel. And listeners, you guys all have your own wellness wheel. Well, what's on it? So everybody's is different. We just have to balance it. For me, I want whole food, exercise, supplements to fill in the gaps. Chiropractor, might do a little sun gazing. Your listeners are going to be like,
Mm.
what? You can Google that. Different things like that, just to stay happy and healthy. Okay. So the events are always me and a massage therapist, me and an herbalist, me and the lavender lady. So we do an event where we might be doing a foot detox, or we might be sitting around a table doing facials. We might be doing a sip and shop. I might be at a boutique, and handing out my electrolytes and having a hydration station at a gym. I love doing events like with a gym owner, me and a gym owner, okay? We do a workout. Everybody's in the workout, me too. And then afterwards, we talk about the importance of protein. And then I'm handing out smoothies so everybody can try some of my protein shakes. But we talk about, why do you need protein after a workout? How much protein do you need every day? And then the gym owner comes in to give me a little validation. And everybody had like a great event. They had a workout, they had a smoothie, they learned something, and they're off and on their way. Meanwhile, a couple people in the group might be, "Hey, Carla, I want to get that. I want to try your protein." So then, there I am. So we provided something that is valuable, fun. I support the gym owner because I brought people to that event that like my network brought. He supported me and my business because I spoke to his gym owner, his members. And so we really just collaborated with our knowledge
Mm.
and our network, and we made it fun for everybody that was there.
You hit on so many cylinders, like marketing wise, like positioning yourself as an expert, giving something away for free, educating people when they come in, making it fun. I mean, that's very, very creative. And I know you have like this background, but how did you come to think like these events? Is this from like when you were a child, when you were in the mall? Like where did why'd you start there?
It really was my networking group. So all the people that I met in BNI was thinking about how can we meet more people? How can I expand my network? And how could I help them expand theirs? So when I do an event with my friend Lisa, who has a skincare business, she's helping them do facials and collagen masks. Okay, I'm over here doing foot detoxes and talking about de-stress and detoxes. So some of my products fit into that. Her and I are supporting so many people in that short amount of time. You know how many referrals we're passing to each other?
Can't imagine.
I we we rolled into Nashville about a month ago for a weekend, and a 5-tier BNI referral sent us into Nashville, and we met over 40 people, and we made a couple $1,000. And it's just us. It's just us in our $30 to $60 price range for our products, and they loved it. We served we served the people in Nashville, Tennessee, and we passed a handful of referrals during that time. So I was looking for a way to support my business and other people's business, and in-person events was where it was at. Because the other element about these events is that it creates a community of people that want to get well. So I do go to some places every single month, and the same people come back because there's always a different speaker. It's me and a different speaker. It's me and a different expert, and they keep coming back. And they're creating a community because they see the same people, right? It's a well-being community. It is inevitable after a really good event, you walk out and you're like, man, that was good. I will see them on social media, and they're like, we met at the wellness weekend, and here we are having lunch together. And I'm like, dang, that is awesome. It kind of makes me cry a little bit because it's just so awesome that these women met sitting at one of our events, and there they are together, keeping each other accountable, or they're going on a walk together. And I'm like, dang, they didn't invite me, but I'm not mad.
Yeah, I can tell this is meant for you because of the way you speak about it. I don't know, you're lighting up, and it sounds like it means so much to you, and I think that comes across pretty obviously. How do you personalize it for the people that are your clients? Like, why do they keep coming back?
Yeah, we really do need to take more time with people. Um, Gosh, have you ever came across somebody who forgot your name?
Yeah.
Yeah, and or didn't remember that, that they didn't remember something really important about you, or what you did. And that is not an easy thing, because I meet a lot of people, and so sometimes I have to say, "What is your name again? Tell me again what you do." But I try to I try to think about how I can be memorable to them, but then also how they are going to be memorable to me, because I don't want that to happen. I don't want somebody to walk into an event and say, "Hey, I'm back. I saw you guys last month, and I did actually read that book that you suggested, Carla." And I don't want to sit there and look at them and be like, "What?" I want to say, "Oh, I know you read the protein pacing book. I'm so glad. Tell me your favorite part." I want to remember the conversation. So I spend a lot of time with people, but there's a lot of people there. So, but I do spend a lot of time with people. And I try to think about ways that I can keep and stay connected to them. I do invite them into my social media. So, because that helps, right? In between the times I'm going to see them is maybe there'll be some commenting and some, more connection afterwards. But also I follow up. I make notes. I'm constantly writing on, like, I have a sign-in sheet, and Joe, if you walked in and you signed in and you're like, well, we're going to have a baby any day now, I would write down baby any day now next to your name, so that when I followed up with you, I would maybe mention it, how's your wife feeling? I think that that's important to write it down and then remember it, and then stay connected with people. I really do care about them. It's not really a sales tactic. I really do care. And you won't come back if you don't think I care.
Yeah.
So had to figure out a way to make sure that I could remember everybody.
I mean, there's no more, natural, like a lot of people would, a lot of companies even hire people to manage their social media and to follow up with people. And I get that. And with the
Yeah.
amount of people that you talk to, being able to like trying to stay engaged with people like that, that's got to be quite a job of its own.
Well, sometimes, I have like some little tricks. Sometimes I would say like, "Okay, Joe, you told me that you wanted the watermelon electrolyte. I'm going to text you right now and I'm just going to put in there watermelon electrolyte, okay? So, what's your number?" So, I text you right then and there and I say, "Hi, it's Carla, watermelon electrolyte." So that's just a trick because in a couple days, it's not a bad trick, but it's a tip. But in a couple days, I'm going to follow up with you and say, "Hey, I just mailed out the watermelon electrolyte. Let me know what you think." Um, as I do kind of things like that so that I do remember a little more. But yeah, it's kind of old school,
Yeah. Yeah. Hey,
but I'm old.
whatever works. You're not that old. Yeah.
52 is kind of old.
Um, I don't, what do you mean by old and why do you?
Well, because sometimes I'm like, wait, am I 32? No, I'm 52. I forget that's kind of old. 52, like,
Well, that's kind of what you put out there. You put out what you think and feel in your mind and body.
oh, I know.
There's no way I would have guessed you were 52.
Really?
No,
Thanks, my
no.
college
I
is
think I
working.
told you that last time
You
too.
did.
Like, and honestly, I didn't. I mean, I didn't remember how old you were. I really didn't.
Okay.
But I was like,
Thanks, Joe.
yeah. Anyway, so what's one story that kind of stands out? One success story from who you've helped that, you just, I don't know.
Well, okay. The first story that popped into my head was my son. Okay, so I have 3 girls and I have a son. I love my girls, but my son's so easy. So, they're like, "He's your favorite, mom." I'm like, "No, he's just easy, easier than you guys." But he was
No, it's because you only have one.
that too. Yes, that
Yeah.
too. He started he bought into the protein shakes right away with me, and he was a wrestler. And so I think his body was going to change anyways, as a young man, ninth grade to sophomore. But just to watch the muscles and everything, he like loved the protein shakes, right? But prior to that, he was not a good eater like the rest of the family. So one day he said, about a year in of having a protein shake every morning, he said, "Mom, you ruined my life." I said, "Why? What do you mean?" And he said, "I cannot eat a triple baconator at Wendy's anymore. I can't. I can't even take a bite of it. It doesn't even taste good. You ruined my life. I can't hang out with my friends and eat the burger." And I said, "Yes, that's my goal." And he's a decent eater now. He doesn't drink energy drinks like the rest of his friends. He drinks our energy drinks that are better. Um, and I would want to help somebody. I want to help everybody, but I do want my kids to not wait until they're 45 to get healthy like me. I want them to at least implement a few things along the way and understand the importance of. And so my family, when things like that happen, that makes me the most happy.
I remember when I first started on my health journey
Hmm.
and when food tasted different to me,
Yeah.
I was like, is this because all that, like, I've just been like used to eating this is what
Yeah.
makes, like, why? Like, why?
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I'll take a bite of like a Nutty Buddy or something. I see it or somebody has that, take a little bite, and I'm just like, wow, it doesn't even taste at all like it used to.
Yeah.
So when those things happen, that's great. That's good stuff. One other story that sticks out is my cousin passed away in January before I found Isogenics, and she really was an important person in our family, and she maybe could have beat what was going on with her, but she wasn't healthy enough
Wow.
to exercise and to, she just started things a little too late. So she passed away quickly. And her sister, who has become like my best cousin, Laura, jumped on board with me in Isogenics right away. And so, and her and her daughter, and they lost, gosh, 50, 60 pounds. And, we always say, okay, we're not perfect in our health right now, but we can't imagine how it would have been had we not started down this healthy journey. And, I spent the day with her yesterday, and, we're protein pacing, we're eating right, we're looking at labels. She gives me this popcorn, and I'm like, let me look at that label. I got to make sure there's not canola oil in it. And she's like, oh, I already checked. And I know that if we hadn't done this together, then she might not be feeling as good as she is right now. And I don't want to lose her. So we're just like, we rewrote our life by understanding more about health and wellness and food.
You know, it makes me think of people that I know in my life, like my dad and my mom and their health journey. And now, like when people get sick, not my parents, but a relative that I know who has cancer,
Mm-hmm.
uh, how do you even start to try and open their mind up about, like, yeah, like, you're going to go to the doctor, they're going to give you all this medication, sure. Um, I kind of like to say that there's more things that you can do, but how do you even go down that path with somebody?
It's really, really hard. I usually just say, is there anything you think that I could help you with? You know what I've learned about the holistic world. Is there anything you think I could help you with? And I'm hoping that they would say, well, can you take a look at what I'm eating every day?
Mm,
Um, yeah,
beautiful.
because it usually starts with food.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't. I mean, just some people just are not gonna, they just don't believe in it.
I know, I know,
Yeah.
I know. And that's okay.
And I'm not saying isogenics. They don't believe
Yeah,
in like health. Like
no,
what you put into your body
yeah.
is everything.
It is literally everything. You are what you eat. And it even affects your mind. My oldest daughter is a driver for my business because she was struggling with some pretty serious and scary mental health issues. And we were 2 years into isogenics and learning about things. And so when she was struggling, I watched a webinar about food for people that are depressed. And they get this diagnosis of depressed and bipolar. And I was watching this webinar, and would you know that the man said, white bread, mashed potatoes, white rice, these things, these starches affect the brain, and they can make people think differently. And so eat this so that we can feed the brain to stay healthy. There's other things. She had to be on medication for a short time, but not a lifetime. And she changed her diet, and we added in some adaptogens, and we added in some things slowly. She needed exercise. She needed sun. She needed the whole wellness wheel. It was not just one thing, but it was the few years of knowledge I had to look for that webinar. And then her openness, I give her, she's the bravest person I know to try what she needed to fuel her body. And she's one of the best people on earth.
Mm.
And a lot of it has to do with her mindset shift on what she needs to feed herself, what she needs to eat. So it even supports people who are in that scary state.
Full disclosure for people listening, I don't use isogenics, and this is not, you know, I mean, it's not a pitch for that because I only met you like a few years ago.
Yeah.
But when I was before I even turned 4, I was diagnosed with colitis. So, and growing up, I mean, it was very mysterious to
Yeah.
the medical people, and it was like in 1989, 1990. But in 2015, when I started on the like really they wanted me to go on some kind of like it's called biologics, some medication that manages my immune system
Oh,
under their control. It's,
yeah. Yeah.
Remicade or something it was called. I was like, I'll stop eating if I have to. That's really when something told me what I'm putting in my body
Mhm.
is what is the problem.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it was,
Yeah.
but I'm like, there has to be a solution through what I'm putting in. Because they want to put something in me
A
with their
chemical.
pill,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
that's supposed to do something. So then I was like, no, it's got to be something that's going in, and
Hmm.
that's not going in.
Yeah. So you changed your diet first?
I mean, man, I tried so many things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I eventually found elimination. You know,
Yeah.
just went down to like the core and found somebody to help me and guide me along that path. But that's a story for another day,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Um, from a business perspective, like what's the biggest challenge in trying to grow? Like, let's talk about your networking because you have a huge network, and we met through BNI.
Yeah.
So what is that like now? Like, how many? You said thousands of people that you've connected with. How do you continue to grow that? Like, you went to Tennessee,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
I use the platform of BNI, usually BNI, to meet people who I might be able to connect with. So sometimes I have two of my four kids live in Florida. So when I go visit them, I go to a BNI meeting down there. And I've been to a couple down there. And I just, it's kind of like the people you went to high school with. If you see them at the grocery store, even though you weren't in the same friend group, they're like, hi, Bearcats for life. So BNI is the same way. So if I walk into a BNI meeting, I'm like, hey, I'm from BNI Michigan. And they're like, oh, hey, tell us everything. So I do pop into a lot of meetings just to see who might be my people. Um, so I do use that platform, and sometimes you click with some people and set up a meeting, and before you know it, you're going to Florida every 3 months, and you're doing events with a physical therapist, a owner of a CBD store, and a massage therapist, and a chiropractor, and a med spa, which is what I'm doing next week. They're all referrals from a BNI meeting I walked into down there 2 years ago. And we do events together. So I have a little network down there for my business, but then also it serves my life because it's for my kids too. Because my kids are not gonna go out and find their doctor, their dentist, their mortgage. I'll find them for them, even from up here. So I just keep trying to do things to meet people. Um, in my town where I live, there's some outskirts towns. I might see I went into a permanent makeup place, met the woman that owned it, told her what I was and what I did. And I said, would you like to do an event together? And she said, yeah, I would. Let's do it. And I said, okay. So we did an event there, and I brought in somebody that does facilitated stretching that could help us. So we had three business owners supported in one 90-minute um, event. I just keep trying to meet people, just walking in to meetings, just going for it.
mm. how do you how do you blend the concept of people, profit, but also keeping the people on top of mind?
It just is. I just love people the most. I love people more than money. So I like money, but that's easy. That's just easy to keep people front of mind. I think I asked them, how can I help you today? What are you looking for? Are you looking for anything? Is there anything that we didn't talk about? We talked about protein shakes and you want to do protein pacing in your life, but what else do you need? And they always say, well, what do you mean? They think I might mean health and wellness stuff. And I mean, I do, they might need a gym to go to, but I'm like, do you need a boutique to shop at? You mentioned that you have something coming up, a wedding coming up. There's a party, the dinner before. Do you need a dress for that? I know a boutique owner. I try to become the resource. My husband calls me a walking, what does he call me? A walking Angie's List. Yeah. He's like, you're the walking Angie's List. You know everybody. You're like the connector.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's very relatable. Like even in my industry, it's different, which when I talk to somebody and they say, "Oh, my wife does it. My best friend is my, apparel provider,
Yeah,
or uh, I'm done. Like I'm not a good I can't help you. You're doing business with your friend. Like what greater way to spend money is there than that?
right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Very relatable.
don't you want to meet that friend? Like you
Sure.
want to meet the other
Absolutely.
guy, right? Like
Absolutely.
because there could be jobs. I mean, there could be all kinds of things.
Yeah. I mean, I even have like a way to meet people who are in my industry now too. Like I kind of say, hey, like I'm doing this thing that's kind of the latest that nobody's using, and I'm happy to teach somebody how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love sitting down with other network marketers, like my competition. I love doing that because if they're open to it, I love hearing what they are doing. And I've done events with other people in my same industry, and it does have to be a certain personality. They have to be givers. They can't be takers. I can usually spot them in just a few minutes, but we can exist in the same room and we can work together and come from a place of abundance, because the fact of the matter is that if we truly want to help people with their health and well-being, everybody is not every person is not a fit for Carla. I might be a little too much for somebody. They might need to go talk to my friend who's in this other company, who just does things a little differently, you know,
They might be too much for you.
for sure.
I've come across prospects who were, you know, they're just what it didn't work, but they
Yeah.
were they were great. They were huge. It was
Yeah.
one. So, if I had a good referral to pass at that point, and they spend tons of money,
Yeah.
so that would have been a beautiful one for. Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's always.
Yeah, I always want to bless and release. I never get mad if someone's like, "I'm drinking shakes from another company, Carla, leave me alone." And I'm like, "Okay, peace and love. Hey, let's still be friends." I always want to bless and release because you just never know. You never know.
Someone at home, if they're sitting there listening, they're thinking about their health, what would you say is a good place for them to start?
Well, this is a different answer than I would have given when 7 or 8 years ago when we started. But we've recently learned this concept that's been so easy to implement and so easy to track and fun and helpful. So I would tell, especially a middle-aged woman, so between 40 and 60, to start with your protein and eat breakfast. Eat
Mm.
breakfast and make it be protein. And let's figure out how much protein grams you need every day, and let's just get your protein in. It seems that everything else, calories, um, everything else falls into place when you get the right amount of protein in your body every single day. Even if you are a vegetarian, even if you're a vegan, there's still plant-based proteins that you can put into your body. I really would tell people to start there. And if they're not willing to do the food part of it, then I would ask them to start walking. Take a walk with me. Take a walk with somebody and start walking, because that's an easy thing to do that could lead them to wanting to eat better or think better, or, walking fills all the boxes. The sun, the air, walk with somebody so you can talk, all of that. So those two things
Mm.
will be a starting point.
Literally take the first few steps.
Literally, yes.
Yeah. So why breakfast?
Well, you need that muscle maximizer in the morning. I mean, you need to do something to get your metabolism going. I know everybody likes intermittent fasting. I'm not going to eat till noon. If that works for you and you love it, do it. But if something's missing, if you're not reaching your goals, or you're not feeling good, or you're dying out of energy by 3, 4 o'clock, we're not made to break down at that time. We're made to stay. Um, and you're getting enough sleep, you probably should shift things around and eat in the morning. I would suggest first 30 to 60 minutes, get some protein in your body.
Mm.
Water, lemon water, good electrolyte, organic coffee, protein.
Yeah, sometimes I think back, and I think like how did God intend for people to live on this earth? Right? Like when
Yeah,
he
it's a good.
created,
Yeah.
so okay, yeah. So if I was a hunter and
Mhm.
I went and I killed my food, well, I'm eating it.
Right.
And I'm probably not eating it for a few hours because there's a lot of whatever. I have
Work.
to cook it and
Yeah.
prep it.
Yeah.
And then when I wake up, if there's anything left, I'm not letting it go to waste.
Right.
I'm gonna eat that.
So true. I never thought about it like that.
And that's protein. You know,
Mhm.
you're gonna do it before you sleep, you're gonna do it when you wake up. And I'm not saying I necessarily like live that way, but how are we meant? I really wonder.
That is a very good thought. Huh. Never thought about it like that. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
wonder. We'll have to ask him
I
in another 52 years.
I can
though.
wait.
Yeah, I know. I can
I
wait
can
too.
wait.
I can wait too.
Okay, so if somebody wants to connect with you and they want to learn how to, you know, boost their energy, boost their health, get on the right track, what do they do? How do they connect with you?
I am so available and accessible that it probably drives my husband crazy. um, so I love to text. I love to connect on social media. You can find my social media is Carla Marie Hurd. I'm named after a wonderful grandmother, Carla Marie Hurd, Carla with a C. That's a great way. I talk to all kinds of people through Messenger. I definitely am the somebody that checks my other messages. So if you're not my friend or following me, I will find you. Um, but people call me, text me, anything like that is perfectly fine. I even love email. I love it all. Any way that you want to communicate, I will take it.
Awesome. What like how do they find you on Instagram or wherever
Yeah.
social media?
So like you want my Instagram handle?
Yeah.
Okay. It's Carla Hurd, HURD 22. It's my softball number. I don't
Sure.
know why yeah. Carla Hurd 22 on Instagram. I'm getting better on Instagram. I really am. Should I give my cell phone number?
No, you do whatever is comfortable for you. But if people can't find you, of course they can reach out to me and I can
Yes.
connect you with
Yeah.
them. So
Yeah.
that's definitely an option there too. Do you have like a website or is it just the Instagram?
I do have a website. I have carlahurd.com. It's kind of in the making, but you'll see a great picture of me climbing a rock in Sedona. That's where if you see that picture, you've landed in the right place.
Okay.
It's me doing the peace sign at the top of a big rock.
Can they leave their email to connect with you?
Yeah, there is a way to subscribe on there. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent. What's next?
Like my big dream.
Yeah, like what's the goal? Like what's the journey? Like where's it taking you?
How many people are going to hear this?
Probably not many.
Oh, come on. Okay. All right. I do have a big dream. Is these wellness events are so wonderful, but they're not long enough. And we've done a couple wellness weekends, at Airbnbs and stuff. And those are so great. Start the day with yoga, we mindfully eat, we do all this great stuff. Like we're literally hugging trees. It's so wonderful. But my big dream is to have some land up North Michigan that half of it is the Hurd homestead. So it's me and my husband and our RV and our kids that want to camp and have an RV. It's our place, and it's on lake or it's on a river or a lake. And then the other half is 3 yurts and 1 fire. 3 yurts and 1 campfire. And people come and they stay in this beautiful yurt and meet each other because there's only 1 campfire. So they have to meet each other there. They have to. And they know that before they're going in. And they can meet down by the river and I'll serve protein shakes for breakfast. And it will just be a great place for people to come, but also a place where we can hold wellness retreats in nature, which is, I think, where God really does want us to be well, is in and on the land that he created. So that's my big dream. And I really hope to buy the land soon.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I hope if anybody, can take something from this, like health is your somebody said, my wife told me this, and I think it's a quote from somewhere. I'm not sure, but your health is your wealth. I really believe that.
Me too.
Yeah. Carla, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, Joe.
Absolutely.
I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. Carla reminded us that health is more than just about what we eat. It's about who we connect with, how we show up, and the small steps we take to care for ourselves and others. Her energy is contagious. Her vision for building a well-being retreat up north, pure inspiration. If you want to learn more or connect with Carla, find her on Instagram at carlahurd22. Visit her website, carlahurd.com. If something from this episode stuck with you, share it with a friend, leave a review. Make sure to subscribe. We've got more incredible stories coming your way. Until next time, I'm your host, Joe Toma, and remember, your brand is what people feel. Let's make them remarkable.